There is a number in your subconscious mind right now, a specific number that represents the maximum amount of money your nervous system believes you are allowed to have. You did not choose this number. It was installed in you during childhood by watching how the adults around you related to money. And every time your financial reality approaches this number from below, something happens to stop you. You sabotage a deal. You make an impulsive purchase. You create an expense that brings you right back down. And every time your financial reality drops below a certain floor, something happens to bring you back up. You find unexpected money. An opportunity appears. Someone helps you. Your subconscious has a money range, a floor and a ceiling, and it will do anything, create any circumstance, manufacture any event to keep you inside that range. Not because it wants you poor, because it wants you safe. And safe, in your subconscious programming, means staying in the range it learned in childhood. Neville Goddard understood that your financial reality is a mirror of your inner state. But what most people miss is that the inner state has a specific numerical boundary, not a vague sense of lack, a precise financial thermostat that regulates your income, your savings, and your net worth with mechanical precision. Today you are going to learn how this money limit was installed, why your subconscious defends it so aggressively, the 3 tests to identify your exact number, and the method to raise the limit permanently by reprogramming the thermostat itself. Your money limit was not installed by a single event. It was installed by thousands of micro-impressions during the first 7 to 12 years of your life. Every time a parent said, "We cannot afford that," your subconscious recorded a data point. Every time money caused an argument in your household, another data point. Every time you heard phrases like "money does not grow on trees," or "rich people are greedy," or "people like us do not have that," your subconscious added those data points to a growing model of financial reality. And by the time you were 12, the model was complete. Your subconscious had calculated the range of money that was safe for someone like you, a floor below which survival felt threatened, and a ceiling above which identity felt threatened. That ceiling is your money limit. It is not a belief you can simply change with an affirmation. It is a neurological program embedded in the same brain structures that regulate your body temperature, your heart rate, and your sleep cycles. It operates below conscious awareness with the same automatic precision as the thermostat in your home. And just like a home thermostat, it has a set point that it defends against any deviation. Neuroscience shows that the brain's financial thermostat is located in the insular cortex and the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. These regions process financial risk, reward, and identity simultaneously. When your financial reality approaches the ceiling, these regions generate anxiety signals that your conscious mind interprets as something is wrong. This is too good to be true. I need to be careful. Those signals are not wisdom. They are the thermostat activating its cooling system. Neville Goddard addressed this when he taught that you must change the state, not the circumstance. The state is the thermostat setting. The circumstance is the temperature reading. You can force the temperature up temporarily through hard work, through a lucky break, through sheer effort. But if the thermostat setting has not changed, the system will bring the temperature back down to the set point. Always. Without exception. This is why lottery winners return to their pre-lottery financial level within 5 years. Their thermostat was never raised. They forced the temperature up with external money, but the thermostat, unchanged, brought it back down. The money left. Not because they were irresponsible, because their subconscious money limit was the same as before the lottery, and the limit always wins. There is something specific about how the money limit gets installed that makes it so resistant to change. It is not installed through logic. It is installed through emotion. A child does not hear "we cannot afford that" and process it intellectually. A child hears "we cannot afford that" and feels the tension in the parent's voice, the tightness, the shame, the stress. And that emotion, not the words, is what gets encoded in the nervous system. This means your money limit is not a thought you can argue with. It is an emotional imprint embedded in your body, in your chest, in your stomach, in the tension pattern of your shoulders. Your body carries the money limit as a physical sensation, and no amount of mental affirmation can overwrite a physical imprint. This is why Neville Goddard insisted on feeling, not thinking. He knew that the state must be felt in the body, not just conceived in the mind, because the body is where the limit lives, and the body is where it must be changed. Before I reveal the 3 tests to identify your exact money limit and the method to raise it permanently, hit the like button and subscribe if you have not already. This channel exists to give you the quantum science behind wealth that nobody else explains. Every video raises your understanding 1 degree, and understanding is what reprograms the thermostat. Turn on notifications because the next video will reveal what happens in the first 7 days after you raise your money limit, and why most people panic and lower it again. Write in the comments, "My limit is being removed." Those 5 words are not just a declaration, they are a direct instruction to your subconscious that the old ceiling no longer applies. The first test to identify your money limit is called the comfort number test, and it works like this. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine checking your bank account. Start with a number that feels normal, maybe $1,000. Feel your body, no reaction. That is inside your range. Now double it, 2,000. Still comfortable. Double again, 4,000, 8,000, 16,000. At some point your body will react, not your mind, your body. A tightness in your chest, a shallow breath, a subtle tension in your shoulders, a voice in your head that says that is not realistic for someone like me. That reaction point is your money limit. The number where your body shifts from calm to uncomfortable is the ceiling of your financial thermostat. For most people, this number is shockingly low. It is not the number they want. It is not the number they dream about. It is the number their nervous system was programmed to accept during childhood, and it has been governing their financial reality ever since, with the precision of a mathematical formula. Write down the number where your body reacted. That is your current money limit, and the gap between that number and the number you desire is the exact distance your thermostat needs to be raised. The second test is called the spending trigger test, and it reveals your money limit from a different angle. Think about the last time you had more money than usual, maybe a bonus, a tax refund, a gift, an unexpected payment. What happened next? Did you save it or did you find a reason to spend it? The spending trigger test is this. When money enters your account above your set point, your subconscious generates an urge to spend that is so compelling it feels like a need rather than a want. A sudden repair that could have waited, a purchase that felt urgent but was not, an investment that seemed like the right moment but produced no return. Each of these spending events was manufactured by your thermostat to bring your account back down to the set point. It was not poor judgment. It was precise thermostat regulation. The spending trigger is so automatic that most people never see it. It disguises itself as rational decision-making. The car repair feels genuinely urgent. The purchase feels genuinely needed. The investment feels genuinely timed. But the pattern reveals the truth. The urgency always appears when the account is above the ceiling. Always. If the same repair was needed when the account was at its normal level, it would wait. But when the account is above the ceiling, suddenly it cannot wait. That urgency is not about the repair. It is about the thermostat. Your subconscious generates the feeling of urgency specifically to create the spending that brings the number back down. And because the urgency feels real, you obey it without question. You spend the excess. The account returns to range, and the thermostat goes quiet until the next time money accumulates above the ceiling, and the cycle repeats. The pattern is so consistent that if you look back at your financial history, you will see the same ceiling appearing over and over. Different years, different circumstances, same number, like a glass wall that you keep walking into. You cannot see it, but it stops you every time at the same place. A business consultant in her late 40s described discovering her spending trigger pattern. She told me, "I looked at 10 years of bank statements, and I saw it. Every single time my savings crossed $18,000, something happened. A car problem, a medical expense, a bad investment. Different events, but the same result. My account always came back to between 8 and 12,000. 10 years, same range. It was not bad luck. It was my thermostat." The third test is called the income plateau test. Look at your income history over the past 5 to 10 years. If you have been earning roughly the same amount, despite changing jobs, starting businesses, or working harder, you have found your income limit. The thermostat does not just regulate savings, it regulates income, because your subconscious controls what opportunities you see, which risks you take, how you negotiate, and how you present yourself professionally. All calibrated to keep your income within the range your thermostat considers safe. A person earning $50,000 per year who's been earning between $45,000 and $55,000 for a decade has found their thermostat setting. The variation is noise, the consistency is the thermostat. Now that you have identified your money limit through one or more of these tests, here is how to remove it. The method is based on what Neville Goddard called revision, combined with modern neuroscience of thermostat resetting. The process has 3 phases and takes approximately 21 to 45 days of consistent practice. Phase 1 is called Normalizing the New Number, and it targets the comfort number directly. Your thermostat rejects numbers that feel abnormal, so the first step is to make your desired number feel normal. Not exciting, not aspirational, normal, boring, expected. Every night before sleep, when your brain enters the theta state and your subconscious becomes maximally receptive, visualize checking your bank account and seeing your desired number. But here is the critical detail that most people miss. Do not feel excitement when you see it. Feel nothing. The same nothing you feel when you check the time. Because excitement is the neurological signature of something new, and your thermostat flags anything new as outside the range. Normalcy is the signature of something that belongs inside the range. When you can see your desired number and feel absolutely nothing, you have begun normalizing it. Your thermostat is receiving the signal that this number is within range. Not above, not special. Within. Practice this every night. The first few nights, excitement or disbelief will arise. That is the thermostat protesting. Let it protest. Return to normalcy. By the second week, the number will start to feel less foreign. By the third week, it will start to feel familiar. And familiar is where the thermostat begins to update its setting. A man in his early 50s described the normalizing process with remarkable precision. He said, "The first night I visualized 200,000 in my account, I actually laughed. My body literally could not take it seriously. By the 4th night, the laughter was gone, but the disbelief was still there. By the 10th night, the number felt like a number, just a number, no drama. And that was when things started moving in my financial life. Not because I forced anything, because my thermostat stopped rejecting the number. It accepted it as within range. And once it was within range, my subconscious started working to make it real instead of working to prevent it." His experience illustrates a critical principle. The thermostat does not care about your desires. It cares about what feels normal. Make wealth feel normal, and the thermostat will defend wealth with the same ferocity it once defended scarcity. Same mechanism, same precision, different setting. Phase 2 is called identity bridging, and it addresses the deeper reason the thermostat exists. Your money limit is not just a number. It is attached to an identity. I am someone who earns this much. I am someone who has this much in savings. I am someone at this financial level. These identity statements are the firmware that runs the thermostat. Changing the number without changing the identity is like changing the temperature display without changing the actual heating system. It looks different, but functions the same. Neville Goddard taught this as the I am principle. You must change the I am that governs your financial identity. But you cannot jump from I am someone who earns 50,000 to I am someone who earns 500,000 without triggering massive thermostat resistance. The jump is too large, the identity gap is too wide, and the wider the gap, the stronger the resistance. Instead, use identity bridges, statements that your subconscious can accept without triggering the alarm. I am someone whose income is expanding naturally. I am someone who is becoming comfortable with more money. I am someone whose financial range is widening. These bridges do not declare a specific number. They declare a direction. And direction does not trigger the thermostat because direction is a process, not a destination. Your thermostat does not resist processes. It resists sudden jumps. A gradual process is perceived as safe. A sudden jump is perceived as a threat. Repeat your identity bridge statements during the day whenever you notice your thermostat activating. There is a specific way to make identity bridges work faster. Attach them to physical actions you already take daily. When you pour your morning coffee, say internally, "I am someone whose financial range is expanding." When you walk through your front door, say internally, "I am someone who is becoming comfortable with more." When you check the time, say internally, "My wealth grows naturally." These micro-bridges, attached to existing habits, bypass the need for dedicated practice time. Your brain already fires a neural pattern when you pour coffee. By attaching the bridge statement to that pattern, you piggyback the new financial identity onto an established neural pathway. After 2 weeks of habit-attached bridges, most people report that the statements start arising spontaneously without the trigger. The identity bridge becomes self-generating. Your subconscious adopted it as its own thought, rather than receiving it as an external instruction. And a thought your subconscious considers its own is infinitely more powerful than one it considers imposed. Over time, the bridges extend your range gradually, not in one dramatic leap, in a series of small, safe expansions that your thermostat accepts one at a time. Phase 3 is called environmental recalibration, and it is the phase that most manifestation teachings completely ignore. Your thermostat is not only maintained by your internal programming, it is reinforced by your environment. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, the conversations you have, and the financial norms of your social circle all send signals to your thermostat about what range is appropriate. If everyone around you earns between $40,000 and $60,000, your thermostat receives constant external confirmation that $40,000 to $60,000 is the correct range. Every conversation about money within your circle reinforces the setting. Every shared complaint about prices. Every collective agreement that things are expensive. Every group consensus that this is just how it is for people like us. These are environmental thermostat signals, and they are powerful enough to override your nocturnal reprogramming if you do not address them. Environmental recalibration does not mean abandoning your friends or pretending to be something you are not. It means deliberately introducing new environmental signals that correspond to your desired range. This can be as simple as consuming content created by people in your desired financial range, listening to interviews with people who earn what you want to earn, reading about the daily habits and thought patterns of people at your desired level, not to copy them, to normalize their financial reality in your nervous system. Every time you expose yourself to a financial reality above your current range and feel calm rather than jealous or inadequate, you are recalibrating your thermostat. You are teaching your subconscious that this range exists, that real people live in it, and that it is safe. And safety is the only criterion your thermostat uses. Not worthiness, not effort, not talent. Safety. Make the new range feel safe, and the thermostat updates itself. There is a practical exercise for environmental recalibration that produces measurable results within days. Choose one person who operates in your desired financial range, not a celebrity. A real person whose financial reality you can observe with enough detail to normalize it. Follow their content. Listen to how they talk about money. Notice the absence of stress in their financial language. Notice how they discuss expenses without anxiety. How they make financial decisions from calm rather than panic. Your nervous system absorbs these observations and begins to recalibrate its definition of normal. After a week of daily exposure to someone in your desired range, do the comfort number test again. Most people find that the reaction point has already moved up. Not dramatically, but measurably. The body reacts to a higher number than before. That shift is the thermostat updating in response to new environmental data. Not because you forced it, because you showed it evidence that the new range is safe by exposing it to someone who lives there calmly. Now I want to guide you through the complete money limit removal protocol. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take 3 slow breaths. With each exhale, acknowledge that your current money limit was installed without your consent. It served you once. It kept you in a range that felt safe during childhood, but you are not a child anymore. And the range that was safe then is a prison now. Now do the comfort number test. Imagine your bank account. See a number that feels normal. Now increase it slowly. Watch for the reaction in your body. The tightness, the doubt, the "this is not for me." Find the number. That is your ceiling. Now hold that number on the screen. And instead of excitement, introduce normalcy. This number is boring, expected, ordinary. Feel nothing about it, the way you feel nothing about the current time. Just a number, just a fact. No drama, no celebration, no disbelief, just normal. Now increase the number by 20%. Your thermostat will protest. Let it return to normalcy. This new number is also just a number, also just a fact, also boring. Hold it until the protest fades. That fade is the thermostat beginning to update. Now introduce your identity bridge. Say internally, "I am someone whose financial range is expanding naturally." Feel the safety in that statement. It is not a jump. It is an expansion. Natural, gradual, safe. Your thermostat can accept this, because expansion is a process, and processes are safe. Let this feeling of safe expansion be the last impression your subconscious receives tonight. For the next 8 hours, your brain will work on normalizing the new number, integrating the new identity bridge, and recalibrating the thermostat, setting 1 degree higher than yesterday. 1 degree per night, compounded over weeks, until the ceiling that has governed your financial life since childhood is no longer above you. It is below you, and what used to be your limit is now your floor. Practice this protocol every night for a minimum of 21 days. Not because 21 is a magic number, because 21 days is the minimum time neuroscience suggests for a new neural pattern to begin stabilizing. The first 7 days are the hardest. Your thermostat will fight back with doubt, anxiety, and the urge to verify whether anything changed. Recognize these reactions as the thermostat defending its old setting. Do not fight them, do not engage. Simply return to the practice. By day 14, the resistance softens. The new number feels less foreign. The identity bridge feels less like a statement and more like a fact. And by day 21, something shifts that you cannot quite describe. The ceiling does not feel like it shattered. It feels like it was never there, like you imagined it, like the range was always wider than you thought. That feeling is the thermostat completing its update. Quietly, without drama, without fireworks, just a silent recalibration that changes everything downstream. What you learned today is not motivation. It is the neurological mechanism behind every financial ceiling you have ever hit. Your subconscious has a money limit. That limit was installed in childhood. It operates through a thermostat that defends a specific financial range. The 3 tests, comfort number, spending trigger, and income plateau, reveal your exact setting. And the 3-phase method, normalizing the new number, identity bridging, and environmental recalibration, raises the setting permanently. Neville Goddard taught that your concept of self determines your reality. The money limit is your concept of self expressed as a financial number. Change the concept, change the number. Change the number, change the reality, not through force. Through the quiet, persistent reprogramming of a thermostat that has been running your financial life on autopilot since you were 12 years old. Tonight, the autopilot ends, and the conscious pilot takes over. 1 degree at a time, 1 night at a time, until the limit is removed. And what remains is not a ceiling. It is an open sky. Here is what most people do not realize about removing the money limit. Once the thermostat is raised, the same mechanism that kept you poor now keeps you wealthy. Your subconscious will defend the new setting with the same intensity it defended the old one. If your income drops below the new floor, your subconscious will generate opportunities, ideas, and actions to bring it back up, automatically, without effort, without willpower. The same autopilot that once maintained poverty now maintains wealth. You do not need to become a different person. You need to reprogram the same person. The machinery does not change, the setting changes. And once the new setting locks in, typically between 21 and 45 days of consistent practice, it becomes self-sustaining. You stop needing to practice with the same intensity because the thermostat is now defending wealth instead of defending scarcity. The same force, the same precision, just pointed in a different direction. Write in the comments, "My limit is being removed," followed by one sentence about what you discovered during the comfort number test. What number triggered your body's reaction? Naming it takes its power away. And reading other people's numbers helps everyone realize that the limit is universal, not personal. We all have one. The question is whether we keep it or remove it. Share this video with anyone who keeps hitting the same financial ceiling year after year, despite working harder. Because their ceiling is not external. It is a thermostat setting that nobody taught them they could change. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because in the next video, we will reveal what happens in the first 7 days after your money limit begins to rise, and why your old programming fights back the hardest right when the new setting is about to lock in. Do not miss it. Your money limit existed because nobody told you it was there. Now you know. And knowing is the first degree of change. There is a reason this video found you today. Not yesterday, not next week, today. Because your thermostat is ready to be challenged. If it were not ready, you would have scrolled past. You would have clicked on something easier, something that confirmed the old range instead of threatening it. But you did not scroll past. You watched until the end. And that choice, that simple act of staying, tells your subconscious something powerful. It tells it that you are no longer willing to accept the old ceiling, that the range installed in childhood no longer defines the adult, that the thermostat can be updated, and that the update begins tonight, not with force, not with willpower, with the quiet, persistent introduction of a new normal, a new number, a new identity, a new range, night after night, degree after degree, until the limit that once defined you becomes a memory of a boundary that no longer exists.